Hello, welcome back to A Reborn, or welcome to A Reborn's channel. Today, I don't really have much of a message that's like a revelation or anything that I went through per se. Just coming on here to talk. I went to go see Final Destination Bloodlines today. I don't know how many of you have seen that. If you've seen that, then proceed to listen. If you haven't, I'd suggest don't watch it because there might be spoilers. So there's your warning. All right. So I was watching it, and man, this is the first Final Destination I've watched. So I don't know if it's canon to any of the other ones. But I will say it's a pretty interesting movie. And one thing I've learned on this walk with Christ is that I see everything from the perspective of Christ now. Maybe not in the sense of over spiritualizing everything, but there's always, my mind always finds a way to create meaning behind it, which I think is the way that God wired me to be, kind of making everything introspective, just deep thinking. And so I'm watching it, and of course I like puzzles, like things that you watch or do where you're putting pieces together, kind of like a murder mystery or a detective type of game. So I like this movie a lot. One thing that Christ has allowed me to do that I've not been able to do before is actually emotionally involve myself into like a movie or a show. I haven't been able to do that, but I definitely did with this movie. And so it was an emotional roller coaster. Maybe not fearful, considering I'm not scared of death, but I definitely felt kind of mourned a little bit for the things that I witnessed. Even though it's just a movie, it's like movies are depictions of real life. Obviously, they make it more dramatic for entertainment purposes, but people die in real life. Traumatic things happen in real life, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit to the realities of this world, and that death could be around the corner to anybody, and it's not far from home at all. Death is eventually going to come to everybody, and that's actually the message or the thing that I want to talk about throughout this video. So I got about halfway through the movie, maybe 3/4 of the way, and it was about when all the main characters, they had finally believed, what was her name? Stephanie? I think that was her name, Steph. They finally believed her, and they had made it to the hospital to find the guy, JB. And they were talking to him, right? And he was saying how death, you can't escape death. If you try to mess with death, things get ugly very fast. And he was basically telling them it's either you die or someone else dies. And I'm just looking at it. I'm like, so pretty much they're going to die regardless. I had already kind of come to this conclusion from close to the beginning of the movie, but this is really when it just clicked. And so I had put together the fact that their grandma, Iris, she had turned crazy, obsessing over death ever since her premonition, and the fact that she saved those people at the Skyview, I think it was, and then that affected her daughter, and then her daughter, which is Stephanie's mother, it affected Stephanie as well. And so the movie starts off with Stephanie having these crazy dreams about her grandmother, Iris. And it's just kind of running in the family, as you can see. Her grandmother, she was really crazy about not letting them go outside, not letting them go out and enjoy the world because of their fear of death, right? Because death is supposed to be coming for all of them, which is the theme of that movie. Because that premonition that Iris had, all of those people in the Skyview, they were not supposed to be alive as long as they were. They went on to have families, and even those families weren't supposed to be there because the people that the family started with, they were supposed to be dead. And so throughout the movie, I'm like, is death kind of like a spiritual thing behind it, or is it just like a symbolic thing throughout the movie? And I kind of figured it's just a symbolic thing by the end of it. But of course, for the movie's sake, death is the enemy, right? And it's portrayed as kind of like a character or an unseen character, an unknown spiritual force. But in reality, it's like in real life, death is coming for all of us. One day, all of us are gonna die, right? So it's like, hold on, let me fix this lighting. It's kind of dark. I don't know why that is. But in real life, death is gonna come for all of us one day. And there's people actually out there who are, when you grow up and you start to grasp, like, what is life about? Why do we live life? What is the purpose of this life? There's people who fear death. People who live life every day scared that that is their day. People who live in the moment because tomorrow could be their last day. And it's just all driven by the fear of death. And it makes you think, imagine we all lived scared that we're going to die, scared of what could happen, scared of a rake falling and we might trip and fall over it, and you just enclose yourself from the world instead of enjoying it because you are scared of death. And I don't know if it was intentional by the movie creators, but there is a theme that I can see that movie has. Yeah, this light has definitely gotten more dim. 1 second. Okay. So, the light died. Whatever, I'm gonna have to cut it between. Okay, anyways. But there's definitely a theme, and I feel like that theme would be, do not waste your time obsessing over things that are gonna come to us regardless. Because, like I said, death is gonna come to everybody. Everyone knows that they're gonna die one day. If you spend your entire life worrying about when that's gonna be, or worrying about bills, or worrying about what you want and if you're gonna get it, you're gonna miss the fact that you're alive. And that sounds kind of cliche, but it's such a true statement. And so it's so easy to look over it because the theme of real life, of course, is that we're alive. We get to do things, right? But no one ever takes the time to realize that their life itself is a gift and that they don't have to be alive. Because what if you died? Then what are you going to do? Nothing. You'd be dead, right? So it just put into perspective to me that life is too valuable to be worried about simple things that are going to happen regardless. To worry about anything for that matter, because that's where Christ comes in. Christ gives life purpose. Christ gives life meaning. Not only does he do that, but he tells us what life is and why it is here, how it became a thing. And so, of course, watching a movie like that, it maybe might scare somebody into thinking, oh, death could happen to us. I need to start living life, not out of enjoyment, but out of fear. But then it made me realize that I'm not scared because I do have Christ in my life, and Christ is my Lord and Savior. So while it may not be affecting me, I know that someone out there, it could affect somebody in a negative way. Someone who's not grounded in the true source of life. So that it just really touched me in that type of way. To know that movies, creation in general, just like any entertainment, movies, music, art, it's all a reflection, a representation of life, of a creator. Somebody had to create that movie. Somebody had to use their brain to come up with the concept, to think of each intricate scene to make the movie interesting. It all reflects the human mind. It all reflects the reality of which we live in. And of course, it's dramatic for movie purposes, for entertainment purposes, but it's real. The concept itself is real. I just wanted to give my thoughts on it because, you know, some people may not watch a movie and think of it that way. Some people may just watch the movie and be like, oh, that was a cool movie. But yeah, anyways, let's go on with our day, right? But see, God has given me specific gifts for me. Of course, I'm not saying I'm the only one who can do this or look this way, but I know what he's given me. To see things from a way that a lot of people normally won't. To see the deeper meaning behind things, even when the world tells you it's not that serious, or it's not that deep, or it's just a movie, or it's just a show, or it's just a song. There's always a deeper meaning. And you don't even have to dig for it. You just have to have your eyes open to see that. It doesn't take a genius to see that life is not guaranteed. It doesn't take a genius to see that there's no reason to fear death unless the fact that there's something after death. Why be scared that you have no more time on this earth other than the fact that you could possibly live a worse life after this life? Because if there is nothing after this life, death is simply just going to sleep forever. Yeah, I get it. People don't want to die because they want to enjoy their life that they have here. They want to continue to live on. But if there's nothing after death, then ultimately there's no reason to be here in the first place. It's just a cosmic accident, right? But then people say, well, you get to enjoy breathing, looking at the trees, nature, eating food, enjoying entertainment that other people make, seeing the beauty of the world. But the thing is, what beauty is there without a creator? The same way that we can create and make beautiful things is the same way that someone had to create these beautiful things. The world is nothing more than evidence of a bigger and better architect, right? The way our minds work, the way that we can display our likeness of God into the world and make amazing things. But life itself is the biggest, most amazing thing, because without life itself, you cannot have any of these things. And so it just puts into perspective for me a more softer side of the gospel, I'd say. A more enduring, a more in a state of awe, I guess I could say. Because I don't watch movies a lot. I don't watch shows a lot. Because to me, they feel pointless. One thing about me is, if it doesn't feel like it has purpose, just like binging shows or playing the game 24/7, that feels purposeless. I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not experiencing for real. I'm just existing. I'm numb. But when I do watch shows or movies, anytime I do, I'm always not speculating, but introspecting, just seeing the many qualities of a designer who made that movie or that show, and the characters within the show, and how that could relate to real life. For example, I watched this one anime. It's called Rising Impact, and it's a golf show or a golf anime. You can find it on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. And so I watch it, and I'm seeing how the sense of competition, the sense of pride in each person, how they all love golf for different reasons, how they all have their own personal emotions behind why they play and what keeps them going. And just things like that is what interests me. It doesn't interest me to just mindlessly watch the show, but to see the intricacies behind the show, behind the characters, behind their emotional and physical beings, right? And I feel like that in of itself is one of the purposes in life, to enjoy creation itself and to create with the things that we have been giving, to create masterpieces. We all have gifts, we all have talents. And I feel like if we're not using those gifts or talents to create, then we're not living up to the full potential in which God called us to be. Of course, this world, this life right now, the main purpose to spread the gospel. We'll get to enjoy and create with God whenever the new earth comes. But in this one, of course, we're learning to bring heaven on earth while this earth exists, because this world will pass. This world will perish. But to live the mind of Christ, to see heaven being brought to earth and what heaven and the new earth will look like. Enjoying creation, enjoying the minds, enjoying the gifts we all have, in unity with each other, with God, with Christ. So it's just amazing how one movie can just change your whole perspective like that and make you see so much through the eyes of the Holy Spirit, through the eyes of Christ. It's brought in me a lot of peace, knowing that I'm seeing a lot more clearly now, even through my struggles that I have. And every day, I'm striving to get closer to God in almost every way. But like I was saying, I'm striving to get closer to God in almost every day, or almost every way, every day. Trying to find every way to kill my flesh. And a very important part of my journey is to realize what it truly means to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth, and what life is like with God, and how to live in it without letting the influence of the world overtake my relationship with God. And one thing that I'm seeing come into fruition is that God doesn't call the qualified, but he qualifies the called. I've been through so much struggle spiritually, mentally, physically on this walk so far. I never thought I'd get to this point that I am right now. I never thought I could know the things that I know right now. I didn't know that I didn't know these things back when I first started this walk. And it's just crazy to see how he puts things together and how his word stays true to the fact that when he says that he will not start something that he won't finish, he is faithful to finish his work. So I really enjoy this journey, regardless of if I don't want to do it anymore, or if I'm going through probably the worst things that I could go through. I love it. I wouldn't go back to the world for anything. Even if sometimes it pulls me back in, I still feel like I'd much rather be in it with God. Sometimes I don't feel like that, but at the end of the day, that's where my heart stands, truly. Because no one has made me feel seen, made me feel fulfilled like God. He made me. He knows the things that I need, the things that I want. He knows what will satisfy me. He knows what will make me feel good. He knows what I need regardless of how it feels. he literally just has my best interest. When someone says they have your best interest at heart, do they really know your best interest? Because no one's going to know you like God knows you, your creator. And I'm just seeing that in real time. And I love it. So, I don't know what this video is going to be named. I'll figure it out. But I just wanted to get on here and talk. Try to grow some type of intimacy with my channel. You know, even though it's not growing yet, I still want to have these out there so that when those people do find them, when someone does connect with them in the way that God intends, they're here, so that I'm not sitting in fear all the time and waiting because I feel like it's not going anywhere. I'm learning as well that it's not about the views. It's not about where I'm going to be financially in the future, but it's about the now. Am I being obedient, and am I being am I stewarding what I have now, right? Because one day I will reap a harvest, but even that's not for me to worry about. For me, it's to live in the now, enjoy what God is doing right now, because that's where he works. He doesn't work in the present or in the past. He works now. God is eternal. He exists in the past, present, and the future. We can only exist in the now, right? So for us to be able to only exist in the present of time, then it only makes sense that God works in the present of time. He's outside of time. He can see it all. But we cannot be in the past, present, and the future at the same time. So I'm learning a lot. And I'm praying that one day I will find like-minded people, and that he will continue to show me and show whoever sees this his heart and his mind and what the kingdom of heaven is like to be brought onto earth. So, but if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you, and I want you to comment the word gratitude. Comment the word gratitude. Why? Because I feel like that might be the little theme of this video. Gratitude, appreciating the fact that we are living today and you are alive and you are breathing and you get to watch this video, and that God is not done with your life yet. Regardless if you want to be on this side of the fence or this side, he's not done. He has a plan for you, wicked or righteous. It's up to you to choose which side you want to be on. So be glad that you are alive and that you still have a chance. So thank you for watching. I pray the God of peace be with you all, that he shapes your heart, he sanctifies you, turns you into the person that he wants you to be, and that you are willing to let him make that change in you, because it is so worth it. It is so worth it. Regardless of your struggles, he is there with you. He wants your heart so bad. So much so that Jesus came and died for us. He became man, died on the cross, took all of our suffering, all of our pain, all of our sin upon him. He died for it. The perfect man. So, thank you for watching. Reborn, signing off.